visceral repulsion and thinking, I don't know what I want to do with my life, but I know for sure I do not want to end up like this guy. To be fair to him, I have no idea what was causing his misery. He may have had a colonoscopy before he came in the room, so I can't confirm that he was perpetually unhappy. Regardless of what was actually going on, I owe him a thank you, because that experience made me ask myself, if that's not what I want, then what is it that I do want? After spending months with this question, one answer kept coming to the surface. I want to be happy. I still cringe at how trite that sounds. It reeks of every social media post that says, life is all about happiness, or happiness is a choice, which turned me off as much as that Wall Street hotshot. But I can't deny that happiness was my new focus. I became engrossed with one big question. What does it mean to cultivate a happiness that is not solely contingent upon external variables like money, my job title, or things going well? I'm sure you can imagine a young man coming home from college, talking to his father, saying, Hey, Dad, I know I was going to go into business, but now I want to understand what it means to cultivate a happiness that's not solely contingent upon external variables. You might imagine a response like, Good for you, son. Now go get a job. Fortunately, that's not how it went down. Instead, one of the great gifts of my life is that my father, a family practice physician on Long Island, had already started studying ways to help patients change their behaviors, improve their health, and become happier. He'd been getting frustrated with the direction that healthcare was going, feeling like he couldn't serve his patients in the way he sought to from the outset. So, he turned to studying evidence-based modalities for fostering health and well-being in the science of mindfulness meditation, a practice to develop moment-to-moment awareness, and positive psychology, the scientific study of well-being. When I told him that I was interested in happiness, instead of shutting me down, he encouraged me. And so did my mom, who is a social worker and also has a deep interest in helping people live better lives. They basically said, people will always want to be happier. There's new science to help people be happier, so if you pursue this study and cultivate the right skills, you might be able to create a career in this. My dad gave me a book on mindfulness meditation called Full Catastrophe Living by Dr. John Kabat-Zinn, an MIT-trained molecular biologist credited with bringing mindfulness into Western medicine, and Authentic Happiness by Dr. Martin Seligman, a world-renowned psychologist who in 1998 called on the field of psychology to not only focus on what goes wrong in life, but to also focus on what goes right in life. Both books helped me understand the simple idea that happiness is something we can develop with the right tools and training. At the time, mindfulness caught my attention the most. I think there was something compelling about the prospect of actually being present for my life, as well as having a very clear practice to cultivate that capacity, meditation. I went on my first mindfulness meditation retreat 3 months later, and by the end of it, I was crying my eyes out in front of 150 people. My brother, who was also on the retreat, still makes fun of me for that moment, snot dripping down my face and onto the microphone as I whimpered through tears. There are just so many beautiful people here. We laugh about it now, but there was something profoundly meaningful in it. The tears weren't because I had touched into some really deep suffering. They were because I felt like I was reconnecting to myself and the world around me. I had this new appreciation for my life. Colors seemed brighter. Food tasted better. I felt more calm. And I started to experience deeper connections with people. I was more present and happy. I hadn't realized just how much of my life I was missing. I remember thinking, if the promise of mindfulness and positive psychology is happiness, and what I'm looking for is happiness, I can't go wrong following this path further. Even if it means living a modest life, different from what I had thought I wanted, this path will take me to a place of fulfillment. Why not first devote all my focus to understanding what makes an actually happy life, rather than take a gamble on a different path that may or may not bring me happiness? It made so much sense to my 20-year-old mind. And again, I was lucky that I had the support of my family to pursue this. I know that it's a privilege to even get to ask the question, let alone pursue it. So, I started taking psychology, meditation, and yoga classes at Allegheny College. I went on mindfulness teacher training retreats through the Center for Mindfulness at UMass. I traveled back and forth to Duke Integrated Medicine to become a health coach. I consumed as many books as I could on the topic of well-being. Through all of it, mindfulness meditation continued to stand out to me as the most compelling, and I found my attention getting more and more focused in that direction. When I